Gator Nation, we're here to bring you another commitment video or transfer, whatever you want to call it, because Deuce Spurlock, a linebacker from the Michigan Wolverines, decided to transfer to Florida. So what we're going to do in this video, as always, is we're going to watch his highlights. We're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to watch his senior season highlights since he was a freshman last year at Michigan. He didn't play in a lot of games. I think he only played in 2 games maybe. He had a pretty solid game against Hawaii when he came in. But for now, we're just going to check out his high school highlight tape since, I mean, he's going to be a redshirt freshman this year for Florida, so you might as well treat him like a high school recruit. We'll watch his highlight tape right now, and then we'll get into, what his commitment means to Florida, where he'll stack up on the depth chart. But you can see there he had 186 tackles his senior year, which is freaking nuts. Now watch this guy's speed for being 220, 230 pounds. Like, look, that's a sprinter's stance right there when he's running, picking up his knees and high kneeing it and catching the running back right there. That was impressive for a 230 pound now guy. He's 6'1", 230, according to the Michigan site. So it's going to be much needed size at the linebacker position. Just honestly a much needed body for Florida. But we're going to watch throughout this video is this guy is extremely athletic. This guy is violent, and I don't mean that in a negative way. He plays with an intent to, punish the ball carrier, which, I mean, it's the game of football. It's what a linebacker is supposed to do, no matter who that offends. There's no hiding it, man. He plays with a savage intent out there on the field, and I think there is a reason that Michigan went after him despite being a lower rated 3-star, which we'll look into that as well. But you can just see throughout these first couple of clips, and this guy is a freaking heat-seeking missile. It's the age-old term for a linebacker, but it definitely qualifies with him. There you can see he doesn't let the quarterback get to the outside of him, showing off speed, side to side. He plays on the edge a lot in this high school film as well, so I don't know if that's a possibility at Florida, because we need edge linebackers as well. What I think is actually going to happen, and we'll talk about it in the depth chart video, is somebody else will probably move to edge. I think this guy here we can see pulls off a freaking WWE suplex right there in the quarterback. I think this guy is going to come in right away and be second string at linebacker, and whoever between one of the other second string or first string guys will switch to edge, whether that's Taraja Mitchell or one of the guys we already have on the roster. But there you can see him making plays on offense. He's a big and thick guy playing wide receiver. So that's extremely impressive. He shows nice stop ability right there. Nice ability to stay up and run and do a little spin move to get to the outside. This guy moves so well for his size. Just once again, I know I say it throughout most of my videos. I have no clue how this guy was I think he was an 85 3-star, which means he was right outside the top 1,000, I think. Yet Michigan and Auburn wanted this kid pretty badly. He obviously committed to Michigan. And people on the staff at Florida obviously want him now. They were at Louisiana at the time of his recruitment. And there's a savage block right there. That's what I'm talking about, that ill intention. I know modern day, some people don't like all that stuff, don't like using those words, but, I mean, we're all football fans. We can accept that it is what it is, and, this is the kind of guy you want at linebacker right here. And we'll watch a couple more highlights. Here you can see him, big wide receiver play right here. This is nuts. Kid is extremely fast for being 220 pounds. Once again, no clue how he was a low 3-star. This is like a definitive 4-star to me. I mean, I personally believe, and I'm sure his transfer portal grade won't be much better. I think On3's already only given him an 86 3-star, and I know Michigan liked him a lot from practices and what he showed on the field in his limited time, and I don't think they were happy he was leaving. So Florida has a pretty massive victory here. Even if it won't appear that way on paper until you're looking at pulling away from these kids. Even if it does, won't appear as a major recruiting victory for Florida with the need at linebacker and what I'm seeing on this highlight tape, this kid is a freaking beast. I would fully expect him to start next year I don't know. This year, I'm not 100% sure. But he is so dang explosive. He already has a year at a pretty solid program that coaches some excellent defensive players. So they obviously saw what I'm seeing. Auburn saw what I'm seeing. I'm assuming you all are seeing this right now as well. We'll end it here in this highlight, and then we'll get into. Oof, there we go. You get hit by this kid, you're going down. But we'll go look at his recruiting profile here. Here's his on-3 profile. Again, I mentioned low-rated 3-star. I mean, the highest he was rated was the 32nd player in the state of Alabama by ESPN. He's just one of those kids that they just threw a rating on, probably because he committed to Michigan. Didn't do much evaluation, in my opinion. If you watch that tape, there is no way in heck that guy is an 86 overall 3-star on 386 on 247 Sports. Not even ranked nationally, just nuts. 1,033 consensus. No way. Absolutely no way. This kid is a 4-star in my book. I don't care. You want to argue about it. You want to call me a homer. He is all of a 4-star. Just a big recruiting win for Florida there to get him to transfer from Michigan. As mentioned before, if we want to look at his recruiting profile real quick, he's got Michigan and Auburn were the two schools that were primarily in it at the end for him. I think, Mississippi State came in there as well. So another SEC school obviously liked him when he was in high school. And I don't think On3 shows the offer. I want to say 247 Sports maybe shows it on his profile. But he does have an offer from Louisiana where Billy Napier and his staff were at during this kid's recruitment. So obviously they know plenty about Deuce Spurlock, and they think he's good enough to play for Florida. And honestly, it's good enough for me. Even if that's not what you want to hear, I don't really care. I saw the highlight tape. I see how quickly they were to react to get Spurlock to transfer to them. They think he's plenty good enough to play at Florida. If he can play at Michigan on defense, he can probably play at Florida on defense. So you got a lot of people that are disagreeing with this ranking that know a thing or two about good players. And you can see here I have the linebacker depth chart pulled up. Let's take out everybody else so we can just focus on them. If I could click on the right button. We'll go there. All right. You can see here we got Shamar James and Taraja Mitchell as the projected starters. Taraja Mitchell's kind of a wild card. I think he could play edge. I think he could just come in and be a team morale kind of guy where he may start off the year as a starter, but he could quickly become a backup. I mean, he was basically a career backup at Ohio State, so you never know. I do have Derek Wingo and Scooby Williams as the second string linebackers just because of their experience. They played a lot more this past season. Now, neither one played specifically great. I do think, and I'm strongly of the opinion, that one of these guys needs to switch to edge. And it just so happens that both of them played edge in high school. I don't know whether that'd be Derek Wingo or Scooby Williams. Scooby Williams is the larger of the two. But either one of them doesn't matter to me because this opens up the door for Deuce Spurlock to come in there and go ahead and be a backup at the position. Now, obviously, a lot's dependent upon, how good Jaden Robinson is because he's going to be a major depth piece and whether or not we add an edge or another linebacker in the portal. So this is not a complete piece of the puzzle yet. It's just what I'm seeing right now with the roster that we have because if you go look at the edge position, we'll open that back up. Let's go look at the edge position. We have 3 players currently. One of those is a redshirt freshman in Jack Pyburn. And another one's going to be a true freshman in TJ Searcy. So something's got to give. I like Antoine Powell. I think he's a solid player. But only having one guy there is not going to work with any kind of experience. They're going to have to get somebody either in the portal or they're going to need to move over, the aforementioned, Mitchell or Scooby Williams or Derek Wingo to that position to be a potential backup or, as a second edge rusher whenever we're on passing downs. Something's got to give there. That's not going to work. So let's go look and see where he rates on our commitment list. It's going to be a lot lower than it should. There you can see he's all the way down here at the number 25 rated recruit or whatever you want to call him, commitment, out of 27 total new additions. I think I've added everybody that has recently committed. I got a couple videos I got to catch up on. I'm sure you guys already know about them. But we'll get to those in the near future. But for now, we're going to look at Deuce Spurlock at 25 out of 27. The only reason is you can see that talent score right there is absolutely killing him. Let's say we made him a 90, just like Cameron Jackson and Caleb Banks were 4 stars. I think he's at worst a 90. Honestly, just from his talent alone, I think he's a little better than that. We gave him that 90, and we had adjusted our rankings here. Did it update? Yes, it did. Deuce Spurlock, that jumps him all the way to 17th, which I think is a lot more in line of where he should be. 247 hasn't came out with a ranking yet. I just used On3's ranking of him. Don't really agree with their ranking as an 86 low rated 3-star. I'm sure most people watching this tape probably agree with me. But either way, it is what it is. We all can see it with our own eyes. This kid's massively underrated currently. I think he's going to play a lot at Florida next year. He'll be on the field at least as a backup. I do think he has the potential to be a starter. I think he has that kind of talent level. Just another under the radar grab from Billy Napier and his staff. I know a lot of Florida fans aren't going to be necessarily happy and just going to stargaze like a lot of them like to do. But I think Napier is getting a lot of kids that show a lot of stuff on tape despite their rankings. Some kids that just look really impressive on tape. Whether that translates, to them being actually better than the ranking or not, we'll figure out in the very near future. I think it will in this case right here with Deuce Spurlock. And that'll be it for this video. If you can like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. We got a couple more coming out here in the near future if I can get me some time to do it. Micah Maskua, the offensive guard right here. You can see him. I'll do a video on him. We had Caden Jones commit, the Army All-American, 6'8", 325-pound tackle. So that'll be another video I'll come out with soon. And then again, we'll be doing an overall review of the class once that time comes. But for now, that'd be it. So thank you for listening, and go Gators.